Peralta was signed to be the top man in the Mets rotation, and he has pitched like that so far this year. Hyundai starting lineup for the Tigers. The rookie Kevin McGonigal in the leadoff spot. Riley Green's been their best hitter this year. Gage Workman hit his first major league home run Sunday as a pinch hitter, gets his first start for the Tigers, who have lost 5 of their last 6 since finding out Tarek Skubal was going down with elbow surgery.
Yeah, Toyota numbers so far for Freddie Peralta. You'll see his changeup more in play against the left-handed hitters for the Tigers tonight. Last 3 games started, 1.62 ERA.
Here's the 21-year-old Kevin McGonigal leading off. He was the AL Rookie of the Month for April, and he takes Peralta's first fastball for a strike, and we're underway. McGonigal got off to a great start, and 2 weeks into the season, they signed him to a 9-year, $150 million contract. Pretty heady stuff for a 21-year-old. Peralta quickly ahead of him, 0-2. McGonigal played mostly third base early on, playing shortstop now with Javi Baez down. Matt Vierling and Colt Keith to follow for the Tigers in the first. And McGonigal takes a fastball high 1-2. Stu Sherwater is calling the balls and strikes tonight. Peralta gave up 2 first-inning runs on opening day. No first-inning runs in his 7 starts since. Tries the curveball, and McGonigal fouls it off. McGonigal, one of the top contact hitters in baseball, makes contact almost 87% of his swings. He's already had 1 swing and miss in this at bat.
It's kind of what the Mets expect from A.J. Ewing.
And they're the same age. McGonigal was a first-round pick in 2023 out of high school. Ewing was a 4th-round pick in that same draft. Freddie's ahead in the count, 1-2. Now McGonigal tries to hold, and he stopped it in time. Rob Drake with the call down to third. Hate the Drake. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, the Tigers have their own problems. On this current road trip, the people in the lineup are 19 for 75 on this road trip.
A.J. Hinch now in his 6th year managing the Tigers. His landing spot after his year of suspension following the Astros scandal. First few years were difficult for the Tigers, but they've made the postseason the last 2 years in starkly different fashion. 2 years ago, they had to have a monstrous September to make the postseason, with 17-8 in September. And the backdoor breaking ball misses, and it's 3-2 to McGonigal. And then last year, they were leading the division most of the year, and then they went 7-17 in September and had to settle for a wild card spot. Fly ball down the left side, and that'll go out of play. So McGonigal making Peralta work.
You know, but at this point, Gary, last year they were 26-15. They were one of the best teams in the American League, but Cleveland caught them. But they defeated Cleveland in the post, and then lost to the Mariners in a Game 5.
2 years ago, they swept the Astros in the wild card, and then lost to Cleveland in the division series.
The big hitter for the Mariners in that division series was Jorge Polanco.
He had that 15th inning hit in the final game to clinch it for the Mariners. 9th pitch of this opening at bat, and McGonigal hits it on the ground. Semien on the backhand, can't field it cleanly, and McGonigal is aboard to start the night. Semien's been handling everything. It's always shocking when he does not come up with the play.
You know, it seemed like his footwork was a little out of sync. See how he had to reach a little extra for that ball. I don't know if maybe it took a bounce to his right, but never got it in the pocket.
Scoring at a base hit from McGonigal. And now Matt Vierling will bat with a runner aboard. Vierling, who started out his career with the Phillies, filling in these days in center field. And he's late on the fastball. Parker Meadows was the starting center fielder when the year began. He's been out since the middle of April. McGonigal has 5 steals this year. He has not been caught. And Vierling again late on the fastball, and it's 0-2.
Watch the front foot of Vierling. It moves a lot when he's in that box, a little like Nolan Arenado. Those first 2 swings, he was trying to shoot that ball to right field.
Also looking for his first out, and he gets it. 3 straight fastballs, and he shuts down Veerling for the first out of the night.
A little overmatched in this first at bat for Veerling. Fastballs up in the zone, just late on all 3, and his front foot tries to get a little timing mechanism, moving his foot all around the box, but ended up being a little late.
Like he's trying to do a Jeffrey Hines. 1 out, 1 on. Here's Colt Keith, who's DHing tonight. Keith off to a good start, hitting a .304, but without much power. Last year hit 13 home runs. Takes a strike. It's 1-1.
2 seasons ago, he was written in as the second baseman of the future. Then they signed Gleyber Torres, and that pushed him to first base for a while when Torkelson was hurt.
And then Torkelson came back at a big year last year, so Keith has played some third and DH'd some with all the injuries they've had. 2 balls and a strike. Riley Green, who's been the best hitter for the Tigers, is on deck. Peralta's only gotten 1 ground ball double play through his first 8 games. Changeup misses down, and it's 3-1 to Keith.
Well, he's a high fastball pitcher, so you're not going to get any double plays on that pitch. His breaking ball is usually a swing and miss, and so is his changeup. So he doesn't get a lot of contact to get into that double play situation.
And Keith takes a fastball for a strike. 3-2. The OPS against Freddie's fastball is .573. That's the 5th lowest of any qualified pitcher. So you can understand why he's been going to it more and more. Second full count of the first 3 hitters for Peralta. We'll see if A.J. Hinch has McGonigal in motion. Tigers do not do a lot of running, but they've been struggling, so maybe not going. And Keith fouls away a fastball.
The Carshield Mets defense, Alvarez is his battery mate tonight for Peralta. The outfield is what you look at that's kind of attractive. Soto, the veteran, with the 2 youngsters, Ewing and Benj in right field. Beatty and Vientos on the corner, the veterans up the middle.
Again, the 3-2 and slap foul. Well, looking at Soto, Ewing, and Bench in the outfield, it makes you dream.
Yeah.
Because that could be your outfield for a long time to come.
The left fielder has proven himself. These guys are on their way.
Well, he's also signed for 13 more years after this. Runner goes this time, and the pitch is ball 4. So the Tigers have 2 men on. So McGonigal was not running on the first 3-2 pitch or the second, but he goes on the third. And the Mets challenge the call, and it's strike 3.
Strike.
So Alvarez turns ball 4 into strike 3, and that's the second out.
Talk about a perfectly timed check to the ABS. Go sit down.
So it's a stolen base for McGonigal, his 6th of the year. Now, how does that work exactly? If, say it was, they called him out at second base.
Yeah.
And then you challenge the call. Does that change anything?
No, it becomes a double play if you want. I think they give you leeway on when you challenge it. They give you an extra pop,
Right.
extra second.
But if you're the runner and you know it's ball 4, doesn't that change the way you approach second base?
You better be coached up that you hustle all the time. Don't take anything for granted.
Riley Green pops up and Bo Bichette snags it. Honda Mets starting lineup. A.J. Ewing, who might one day be the Mets leadoff hitter, is going to hit 8th in his debut. Carson Benj, who led off for 3 games in Chicago earlier this season, moves up to the leadoff spot, moving Soto down to 3rd for the first time this year.
Well, Jack Flaherty, when he first started his career with the Cardinals, ended up going 41-31 with the Cardinals, and what a bright star he was. Hurt his arm, and since then, 22-28. You'll see a lot of breaking balls from Flaherty this evening.
Carson Bench over the last 16 games is hitting .300 with an .852 OPS. So he's earned this leadoff spot. Flaherty misses high for ball one. Bench, Bichette, and Soto, the rearranged top three in the Mets batting order tonight against Flaherty. The last time he pitched here at Citi Field got bombarded. That was in Game 5 of the National League Championship Series 2 years ago. The Mets scored 8 runs against him in 3 innings. He started Game 1 of that series through 7 scoreless innings at Dodger Stadium, but the second time around, the Mets thrashed him.
Yeah, the Mets ended up winning that ball game 12-6. What an unusual series that was. Blowout after blowout on each side.
Well, Dave Roberts had his system. He punted some games.
He did not chase the win, as they say.
I mean, he had the ace in Buehler in that series, and that was what he played to perfection. 2-2 to Bench, and Crescent hits one off the fist to shortstop, and McGonigal grabs that little pop-up for the first out.
Tigers defense presented by a Tri-State Chevy dealers. Riley Green in left field, maybe their best offensive player. Vierling the center. Munsell Perez in right field. Dingler's one of the best catchers in baseball. You don't hear a lot about him. McGonigal at short, Torkelson at first. Dingler is one of the best framers in the game.
Won the Gold Glove in the American League last year. Here's Bo Bichette, hitless in his last 15 at-bats. And he takes the first pitch outside for ball one, and that in and of itself is a good thing to see. Bichette has been very jumpy at the plate, chasing a lot early in counts. On the corner, and it's 1-1. That scored just 5 runs in 3 games in Arizona, and the top 2 guys in the batting order in that series, Soto and Bichette, went a combined 0 for 20.
Maybe a good tonic here, though. 7 for 13 lifetime against Flaherty.
He takes a curveball outside. It's 2-1. Flaherty has struggled in first innings. He's got a 5.62 first inning ERA. Last 3 starts, an ERA over 10. After getting off to a good beginning to this season. And he nips the outside corner with a fastball. It's 2-2. And you can see his fastball's coming in 91, 92. Yeah. He's not the guy that he was in St. Louis at the start of his career.
I mean, 2019, 234 strikeouts, 11-8 record.
Keeping everything away from Bo, and now it's 3-2. Flaherty was traded from the Cardinals to the Orioles at the deadline in 23. Then he went to Detroit in 24, traded at the deadline to the Dodgers, won a World Series with them, and then came back and signed with the Tigers again. And a walk to Bichette gives the Mets a 1-out base runner.
And the walks have been a big problem for Flaherty so far this season.
Last year, Flaherty averaged 3.3 walks per 9 innings. This year, 6.9 walks per 9. So 1 out and 1 on for Soto. Juan is 0 for his last 12 and 2 for his last 27. Said after the Sunday game in Arizona, I've been getting pitches to hit, and I just haven't been hitting.
Keeps it pretty simple, doesn't he?
He knows he's going to hit. I mean, it's kind of like last year when he got off to the rough start. You knew he'd break out.
The thing about Soto is a rough start for him.
The catcher's challenging.
Challenge here for
Dingler challenging the ball 1 call. And it is not overturned. So the Tigers lose a challenge in the first inning.
The thing about Soto, when he struggles, his OPS is in the 700s. And when he's styling, it's in the 1.2s, you know.
Make the right call with Sterling Optical. See clearly and look great doing it. 1-1 to Soto with Bichette at first. And he smacks one in the air to right center. Circling in is Vierling. And he gets there for the 2-hand catch. 2 out. I thought Mark Simon's note to us today was really instructive about this Mets offense. Other than Carson Bench, who had no track record, the Mets have had 19 players take a plate appearance this year. Of the 19, 17 of them have an OPS lower than their career. The only two who have better, MJ Melendez, who's been here 3 weeks, and Jared Young, who's on the injured list. That's it. Everybody else is performing below what it says on the back of their baseball card. Mark Vientos has 9 RBIs in his last 9 games, but his games have been hit and miss. Covered a couple of balls on that road trip that did not go out of the ballpark. Also had a 2-home run game along the way in Anaheim.
I mean, just think if those 2 balls had gone out, what kind of road trip he would have had.
I think he's swinging 2 in Colorado and the 1 Sunday in Arizona.
That's right.
Flaherty gets ahead of him 0-2. Vientos was part of that 8-run barrage in Game 5 against the Dodgers 2 years ago. He takes a fastball for strike 3, and Flaherty gets through the opening inning around a walk. After 1, Mets and Tigers no score. Souvenir incoming.
Hey.
Dylan Dingler leads off the second inning and takes fastball strike from Freddie Peralta. Dingler 1 for 12 on this Detroit road trip, where they went to Kansas City and lost 2 of 3, winning the final game on Sunday. Dingler, 27 years old, out of the Ohio State University. Buckeyes on that helmet. 0-2 coming. And he hooks one in the air to deep left field. Back goes Ewing, looks up, and it's out of here. A home run for Dylan Dingler, his 7th of the year, gives the Tigers the early lead. It's 1-0 Detroit. On an 0-2 pitch from Peralta, just the 5th home run Freddie's given up this year in 9 starts. Tigers have not been a big home run hitting team this year. 12th in the American League in home runs, but Dingler got this one.
Looked like he got a breaking pitch that was hanging on 0-2 from Peralta. Kind of a different day and age, Gary, you know, where the pitch counts are so important in a game. Most pitchers don't waste the 0-2 pitch anymore, and sometimes it'll cost them.
Wencel Perez, switch hitter, banks one up the middle for a base hit. So back-to-back hits against Peralta to start the second inning.
Let's watch the grip as Peralta gets on the side of that baseball. He wants that to be outside about a foot, and it just stays right in the strike zone. And a line shot out of here. But once it hits the black, it's out of the park. He's a good player, Dingler.
So now Gage Workman making his first start for the Tigers, and a throw to first, and back in safely is Perez. Workman was just called up this weekend. Kerry Carpenter went on the injured list. Hit a pinch hit home run Sunday to help the Tigers win. He carves this one down the left field line for the 3rd straight hit. Soto plays it off at the line. It's a double for Gage Workman, and the Tigers have runners at 2nd and 3rd with nobody out.
The Tigers are trying to hit for the cycle here in the 2nd inning. Home run, single, double. This one carved by Workman. Overhead, you can see where the pitch is located, how late he waits on that pitch. That ball was inside, and he inside outed it to left field for the base hit.
Peralta has found trouble here in the 2nd. Spencer Torkelson is the batter, and he swings at the first pitch and fouls it off. That's brought their middle infielders in about halfway. Torkelson dropped to 8th in the order. It's been a weird year for him. He hit a home run in 5 straight games a couple of weeks ago, but other than that has not hit much at all. Coming off a season in which he really had a renaissance. This is the guy who was the 1st overall pick in the draft. when he came out of Arizona State in 2020. Got sent to the minor leagues a couple of years ago, bounced back last year and hit 31 home runs. And he lines one to left center field. Soto coming in. He gets there to make the catch. Tagging at third is Perez. The throw by Soto to the plate on a hop, not in time. And the Tigers lead 2-0. So Spencer Torkelson with the sacrifice fly to drive in the second run. Workman held at second, 1 out.
Another good at bat by the Tigers. That was a fastball up and away that Torkelson got to. A chance maybe for Soto to make that play close, but he's going more towards center field. Had to throw across his body.
Now the number 9 hitter, Zach McKinstry. McKinstry spent about a month on the injured list with a hip injury, so he's only had 56 at bats.
When the ball's in the air, what do you do as a base runner? You get back to that base. You wait, and once it's caught, then you take off. On those, you don't need the coach. You just watch the ball. As soon as it's secured by Soto, you go.
Popped up third base side and foul ground. Beatty has room to make the catch, and that's the second out. So McKinstry is retired 2 away, and Peralta with a path out of this inning if he can get through Kevin McGonigal.
So if you've noticed, McGonigal had a hit up the middle. Vierling was trying to hit the ball to the right side. Dingler, of course, with a pull home run. Perez up the middle. Workman to left field. They're trying to go the other way against Peralta from both sides of the plate. You know, if you can notice that, if you're Alvarez or Peralta, you'd have to make sure you do enough inside to the righties and lefties off the plate.
Backdoor slider drops in for a strike to McGonigal. Bichette keeping the runner Gage Workman close at second, and good fastball there from Peralta to get ahead 1-2.
Well, you're not going to touch Peralta when he throws a fastball here. You can see even McGonigal, who's got good plate discipline, offered at that one.
1-2 coming. This is a Tigers team that is very different from the last 2 teams the Mets faced. Both the Rockies and the Diamondbacks, very aggressive teams, high chase rates. Not the Tigers. They have the second lowest chase rate of any team in the majors. Long hold. And McGonigal takes up and away, and it's 3-2.
You know, Gary, when I think of the Tigers, I think of their manager. You know, buttoned up, playing the game right. A.J. Hinch, he's always demanded that from his teams, and he gets it here with his Tigers.
Second straight time McGonigal's run a full count. Matt Vierling would be next. And he takes the changeup for ball 4. So McGonigal's on base for the second time. First walk given up by Peralta.
So last at bat, Gary, Vierling struck out on 3 pitches, 3 fastballs that he threw right by him. So what do you throw if you're Peralta? Do you stay with that pitch? And if you're Vierling, do you try to counter it by getting it started a little early? It'd be interesting to see what they do on this first pitch.
Probably part of the conversation here. It's that old pitcher double thing.
Spent a career doing it, Gary.
I mean, logic would tell you that you keep throwing the same pitch until he proves you can hit it.
That's right. But when you've given up 2 and you got 2 on, the pressure's on. You know, if you're pitching in these games and the Mets, the way they've been struggling, you're thinking to yourself, 2 is the most I can give up.
So here's Vierling, who missed most of last season with injuries. And he fouls back the first fastball this time, so he's now seen 4 straight fastballs. That's the first one he's made contact on.
If you're the backup runner, you see the lead almost in a sprinter stance as McGonigal.
Leading as far as the first baseman is off the line.
He does a good job, though. He doesn't go past the first baseman. He has him in his peripheral vision, so he doesn't have to worry about him going behind him in a pickoff attempt.
One thing that has kept Freddie Peralta in games this year, his ability with runners in scoring position. Tigers are 0 for 2 so far tonight. The opposition is now 3 for 36 against Peralta with runners in scoring position this year. 1-2 coming to Vierling, but first a look back at second. Workman not being held on. 22 pitches in the first inning, 20 already in this inning for Peralta, who's had a 20-pitch inning in every start. And that one bounces into Alvarez, who's able to knock it down 2-2.
It's always going to be a struggle. Watch Alvarez. This is, you're just hoping you catch it. That ball hit 5 feet short of the plate. He throws a lot of pitches because he doesn't have a lot of contact. Usually he's had some this inning, so he doesn't have those quick innings.
2-2 coming, and fouls back the high fastball. 97 from Peralta. That's as hard as we've seen him throw this year. Cole Keith would be next. 2 on, 2 out, 2-2 to Vierling. He yanks that changeup foul to stay on the at bat. Seventh pitch of the at bat upcoming. And Vierling pokes that one foul. And Freddie's clearly reaching back for a little extra in this at bat, trying to get himself through the inning.
Vierling's a nice player for the Tigers. He's very versatile, can play a few positions. You saw him when he first came up with the Phillies.
Workman at second, McGonigal at first with 2 down. And Vierling flies this one out to center. A.J. Ewing will get his first chance. Handles it fine. That retires the side. But 2 runs for the Tigers, one of them on a Dingler home run. It's 2-0.
Summer's here, and with the new
2-0 as they come to bat in the home second. MJ Melendez leads off and takes a strike from Jack Flaherty. Melendez DHing tonight. He's 0 for his last 9. Starting his 16th game since the Mets called him up. Takes that slider inside. A ball and a strike. Brett Beatty on deck, and then Marcus Semien. After Flaherty worked around a walk in the opening inning. Fastball on the outside edge for a strike, and it's 1-2. Melendez going to challenge that call. Tigers have already lost a challenge, and now the Mets lose one.
The pitch is a strike.
I'm telling you,
one challenge remaining.
The managers are going to have to get a hold of this because these hitters are challenging calls and losing challenges for their team early in games in non-leverage situations, and it's just bad for your club.
Listen, the 2 worst at it are pitchers and hitters. Why? Because they're fully invested in the throwing of it and the at-bat. So their eyes are deceiving them. That's what's happening.
Melendez punches one foul back and out of play.
But I know what you're saying, Gary. This should be a team challenge each and every time, and you should really be cognizant of holding at least one of them for late search situation, maybe bases loaded or whatever. It just seems to me to be very selfish at times.
I mean, you can use them early in games. I mean, the one that Alvarez called in the first inning with a runner on a 3-2 pitch, that makes sense. That's a high leverage spot. But you can't be doing it leading off the inning. And that's ball 4, and Melendez works out the walk despite losing the challenge. Second walk for Flaherty. Well, the Mets won 2 out of 3 in Anaheim, 2 out of 3 in Colorado. They won the first game in Arizona, but their offense went completely flat the last 2 games, and they lost the last 2. Pitching was good, their defense was fine, but the offense needs some kind of boost, and David Stearns was asked today if he still believes in this group. He said he does. He said he believes in the back of the baseball cards. Now the Mets just have to prove it on the field with a quarter of the season already gone. Here's Brett Beatty, 5 for his last 36. And he takes first pitch curveball down for ball 1. Mets are being patient with Flaherty, which is the way to go. He's now walked 28 batters in 35 innings this year. And Beatty takes a strike. It's 1-1. Too often on that road trip, particularly in that game against Eduardo Rodriguez, they just flailed early in the count and allowed the pitcher to get deep into games. Melendez scrambles back.
Flaherty is a good athlete, and you saw it in that good move to first.
Part of the Harvard Westlake trio. Came out of high school in L.A. Teammates with Max Fried and Lucas Giolito.
Triptych of throwers. They all came up around the same time. They've had different levels of success. They've had some injury. Max Fried is probably at the head of those three. He's had an amazing career.
1-2 to Beatty. And the breaking ball hit sharply. Base hit into right field. Melendez pulls in at second. And Beatty hit it just beyond the reach of McKinstry for the Mets' first hit of the night. And the Mets have the first 2 men on in the second.
I like seeing Beatty on the breaking ball. This was supposed to be down and in. It was just kind of a roller away. And Beatty jumped all over it. Hit that ball in the nose. That's why it got past McKinstry at second.
Now Marcus Semien, who has a home run on his ledger against Flaherty, 2 for 9 in his career. And he takes the first pitch slider outside for ball 1. Semien has been the Mets' best hitter with runners in scoring position this year, hitting .342. A.J. Ewing getting ready for his first big league plate appearance is on deck. Melendez at second, Beatty at first with nobody out. I smell soup.
I do.
That soup?
Yes, I smell some broth.
Could be like minestrone.
Minestrone, good call. Pasta fagioli, maybe?
Yeah, something in that family. 1-1 to Semien. Picking low, 2 balls and a strike.
Can he bring a thermos into the park anymore with some warm soup?
It's like Michael Cera in that movie.
I know which one.
He says, "Her house smells like soup." 2-1 coming. Semien lines one to left field, but that'll stay up for Green, who makes the catch. Semien hit hard, but Green right there to make the catch. And now A.J. Ewing for his first big league plate appearance. Mets fans looking for a reason to hope. And what better to pin your hopes on than a 21-year-old who has rocketed through the farm system. First and second, 1 out, and Ewing takes outside ball 1.
I'd have to say the greetings to the first-time players, whether at bat or pitching a game, is one of the most enjoyable times I have in the booth.
A.J. played just 12 games at AAA after being promoted in April. And he takes it low 2-0. He's known for his eye. He's known for a quick, short stroke. Now he uses the whole field, not a lot of power. And just 3 home runs all of last year, 2 this year. His first at bat in AAA, he hit a triple. He cut at that fastball, and he fouled it back 2-1.
A quick swing indeed. That was a good swing. Right on it.
We saw a lot of him in spring training this year, and he never failed to impress, finding some way to help you, whether with his speed, which is Trey Turner-like, or his defense, or his at-bats. And Flaherty gets a borderline strike, and it's 2-2. Francisco Alvarez waiting on deck. Ewing is 21 years old from Kettering, Ohio. 4th round pick by the Mets in 2023. And he just got a piece of that curveball to stay on the at-bat. AJ started last year in low A in St. Lucie. By the end of the year, he had gone past high A all the way to double A. And then after starting the year at double A this year, earned his promotion to triple A, where he got off to a rollicking start. And that's away, ball 3. And you can see his discerning eye. Ewing, 33. No, it's 3 times 3. Ewing, 9. And he draws the walk to load the bases. That was a very mature first big league plate appearance.
I mean, not to come out of your shoes and swing just shows you the kind of discipline he has. And Jack Flaherty now has walked 3 of the first 8 hitters he has faced. Pitching coach Chris Fetter out for a discussion.
That is AJ's dad on the left. He knows his son. That's what he does. He gets on base.
That moment for a dad is a combination of proud and I don't want to cry.
This next at bat is a huge one for Francisco Alvarez and the Mets. Alvarez has grounded into 10 double plays this year, more than anybody in baseball. He's presented with an opportunity here with the Mets down 2-0 in the second to change the script. Melendez at third, Beatty at second, Ewing at first. And Alvarez takes a strike. Francisco's been swinging the bat better the last week or so. 8 hits in his last 8 games. And he takes that one off the plate, a ball and a strike.
Flaherty tried to sneak 2 fastballs by him to get ahead in the count. He'll probably get a steady dose of breaking pitches now, trying to get Alvarez to pull something on the ground.
2 walks, bracketing a hit by Beatty to fill the bases. And now the curveball outside. It's 2-1. And Flaherty's body language is not good at all. He's slumping his shoulders, looks exasperated with himself. Alvarez asks for time.
Gary, when you walk this many hitters, you feel like you're in this situation every single start. ZRA, we said, over 10 the last 3 starts.
2-1 to Alvarez. And he loses the bat as he swings through the fastball, and it's 2-2.
Just feel like Francisco, and you know, I haven't been around, I've been just watching the games. So I'm watching from home. I feel like his swing is big again from where it was earlier in the season when it was short and compact and up the middle, going the other way, getting his base hits.
Well, he's got a couple of hits to right field during this last road trip. See if he shortens up a little here with 2 strikes. 2-2 coming. And he flies one foul down the right field side. Mets have not hit a grand slam through the first quarter of the season. Alvarez punches one foul. Stayed in on that slider to keep the at bat going. Carson Bench, hitting leadoff tonight, is on deck. Flaherty, like Peralta, having to work hard through these first 2 innings. 29th pitch of this inning. And Alvarez got a piece of that.
Good at bat already by Alvarez. Fouled off some real difficult pitches from Flaherty to maybe catch a mistake at some point.
Bases loaded, 1 out. 2-2 to Alvarez, and Flaherty steps off.
Change the baseball. You don't see that happen very often.
Eighth pitch of the at-bat coming to Alvarez. And he lines one toward the hole. Nice backhand pick by McGonigal. They get the out at second, but not the out at first as a run comes home. McGonigal with a nice play in the hole to take a base hit away from Alvarez, who hustled down the line to avoid yet another double play. He gets an RBI, his 10th of the year, to cut the Tiger lead to 2-1.
Well, he had to go far to his right, and by the time he stopped and threw to second base, a low throw stopped McKinstry from making this play a little closer, and good hustle by Alvarez beating that play at first.
He is sick and tired of trying to get double plays. So a run is in, first and third, 2 out, and now Carson Bench, who popped up to short his first time up. Third baseman Workman playing at the edge of the grass against Bench. Takes the fastball outside for ball 1. I feel like Flaherty's strategy is to pitch around the plate.
Yes, and get the hitters to chase, but he's not throwing enough strikes to do that.
And now behind on Bench, 2-0.
Well, it's Ewing going in second base on the turn. He's got a lot of speed, so he gets in under McKinstry, which had to bother him a bit.
Bench swings through the fastball on 2-0.
This is where the Mets need a hit. 2 outs. Keep the rally going.
And that's too high, ball 3. And Flaherty throwing a ton of pitches. That's 34 already in this inning. And Bench in an advantageous spot with Bichette on deck. He fouls back the fastball, and it's 3-2. Flaherty's already had a 41 pitch inning this year. Torkelson will play behind the runner at first. Alvarez will be running. Beatty at third. 3-2 coming. And Bench pops it up into shallow center field. On comes Vierling. And he's got it to end the inning, and the Mets settle for just the 1 run. They trail 2-1 after 2.
After postgame.
If there's anything better than watching a player in his big league debut, it's watching and listening to his family. Steve Gelbs has the story on A.J. Ewing's family.
Yeah, Gary, I could not agree more with you. This is Joe Ewing, not Joe Mick Ewing, Joe Ewing, sitting to my left. And I just said to you before we went on, that was one of the best at-bats I've seen all year. He doesn't look overmatched at all. What did you think watching him?
He looks very comfortable, like he always does in that situation. I'm a nervous wreck watching him, but I think once he gets in the batter's box, he doesn't know there's anybody here but the pitcher.
Has he always been that way?
No. But he's been that way the last 4 or 5 years, I'd say. But he's developed it.
All right. So, Joe, this is someone that Mets fans and Mets organization has been very excited about. But this has happened very, very quickly.
Yes, it has.
I imagine for you as well, when you get that call from A.J. that he's coming up to the big leagues, what was going through your mind? Did you anticipate that at all?
I did not. I kind of played out in my head that was going to happen someday. But I did not see this coming as soon as it was. So I'm a physician. I was in my office, and I went and checked my phone. I had 6 missed calls, and I was like, something's up. And I called him back.
And what was your reaction when he told you?
I said, you better not be kidding me. He goes, get here. I said, I'm on my way.
So, Joe, one of the things that I always think about as a parent now myself, when you're watching your son on a big league field, are you in the moment? Or do you see him as that little leaguer or that kid when you're watching him do what he does?
I see him in the moment now. I used to see him as that kid. Now I've kind of learned to adjust to him being this guy now. I think watching all the hard work he's done and the determination that he has to get where he's at. Now I see him just doing his thing. And
how has he grown as a player through the years?
Oh, tremendously. Absolutely tremendously. The maturity level that he developed starting about his high school years, I'd say. He really became focused and
Colt Keith with the double. You can keep going.
No, but he's definitely grown as a player. I think when he first realized, hey, I have a shot at being a professional baseball player, he became just laser focused, determined, and he went after that dream really, really hard.
When did you first realize that? I mean, this is a dream for a lot of little leaguers, right? But
Yeah.
very few actually get here. When did you realize, he might be different?
I knew he was a good baseball player, but I knew how hard it was to get to this level. And I think being his dad, I even kind of didn't think he was as good as he really was, maybe. And so I can tell you that, first time I was having a conversation with an agent talking to me about my son, I remember I looked at him and I said, "You think my kid's going to get drafted?" and he stopped and he paused as calm as can be. He said, "I know your kid's going to get drafted." And I said, "What?" And so then it kind of hit me. I said, "Okay, here we go."
Looking back on it, how do you view your role in his development and as a big, support for him?
My role was just support. It really was. I was a high school baseball player, not like him. I was a pitcher. I couldn't hit a lick. I don't know where this comes from, but I was just there for him, and I threw balls at him all day long, every day. We would clear tables out of my healthcare office and hit balls in there. It was just we were nonstop. He just loved to hit ever since he was 4 years old. So I was just supporting. He's got a God-given gift and incredible determination, and he just ran with it.
All right, I'll leave you with this because you're being too kind. You also did make a big impact on him hitting lefty. I hear he's a righty in everything else he does, but you decided to make sure he was a lefty early as a kid.
I kind of did. I'm responsible for that. So when he was 3 years old and picked up the bat for the first time, he knew no other way than to swing it left-handed. So everything else he does is right-handed, but he can hit a baseball left-handed.
All right. Well, Joe Ewing, thank you so much for the time. I can sense the excitement. Your son has a bright future ahead of you, and we appreciate you sharing a little bit on this day.
Thank you very much.
All right. That's Joe Ewing. Guys, back to you.
All right, thanks very much, Steve, and thanks to Joe, and congratulations to the Ewing family. Meanwhile, Freddie Peralta just threw 2 dastardly changeups to come back and strike out Riley Green.
He needed it. Riley Green is the player you don't hear about too much. He is an outstanding offensive player for the Tigers. Kettering, Ohio, just outside of Dayton, Ohio.
It's Jerry Blevins' territory.
Yes.
Dylan Dingler homered for the first run of this game. Hit it off the black down the left field line in the second inning, his 7th of the year. Just 13 all of last year, so he's on a much faster home run pace. And a foul tip on a 96-mile-an-hour fastball, 1-1. Get that Brooklyn Lager going. I remember when they started making that.
You do?
Yeah. I was living in Brooklyn at the time. I think so were you. 1-1 to Dingler. Well, Keith not a speed burner at second, but he's got pretty good wheels. Wenzel Perez on deck. And Dingler takes fastball on the outside corner. And Peralta, after giving up that leadoff double to Keith in this inning, has really got him dialed back in.
Yeah, he's had a good fastball his last 2 starts.
One-two coming. And he struck him out. High heat. So back-to-back strikeouts for Peralta. This inning could have gone sideways. But after getting behind Green 3-1, he has really turned the corner.
Well, what do you do against a hitter who hit a breaking ball out for a home run his last at bat? A steady diet of petrol here from Peralta.
Now Wenzel Perez, who singled to center and scored a run in the second, takes up and in for ball 1. Perez came into the day hitting just 149 as a left-hand batter, but banged a base hit into center field his first time up. Takes the changeup low and in. Tigers are 0 for 5 tonight with runners in scoring position. That means the opposition is now 3 for 39 against Peralta. That's how you keep yourself around in games, even when you're not at your sharpest. Tigers already have 5 hits in this game, 3 of the 5 for extra bases. And Perez pops one up behind the plate. Alvarez coming back. He's got it. Side retired. Leadoff double, but Peralta gets the job done to keep it a 2-1 game.
Folks.
Bo Bichette leads off in the home third and takes a strike from Jack Flaherty. 2-1 Detroit. Bichette drew a walk in the first inning. Soto and Vientos to follow against Flaherty, who threw 36 pitches in the second inning. Gave up just 1 run in the inning, but we'll see how he bounces back from that.
Going to have to start landing his breaking ball for strikes. Hasn't been able to do that yet.
Skips that one in, and it's 1-2. Bichette lifetime against the Tigers, a .341 hitter. And as we go from town to town, we see those numbers for Bo a lot, and it makes you confident that at some point it's going to show up.
Well, especially the American League towns. I mean, he routinely led the league in hits a couple of seasons.
2-2 to Bo. And he pokes that one into right field. That's going to fall for a base hit. So with Flaherty keeping the ball away, Bichette goes that way, and he's now 8 for 14 in his career against Flaherty. That snaps an 0 for 15 stretch. Let's all play ball. Don't miss Play Ball Weekend coming up June 5th through the 7th, encouraging youth everywhere to get out and play. Visit playball.org today to register for a free event near you. So the Mets have a leadoff base runner for the second straight inning, and now Juan Soto takes a fastball down. Soto fly to center his first time up. 59 pitches for Flaherty, 26 balls, 33 strikes. Not a very good ratio.
Well, A.J. Hinch would love him to go deep into this game, but it's probably not going to happen with the pitch count. The relievers have gone 6 or more innings for the Tigers. The bullpen has gone 6 more innings in 5 of the last 7 games.
Well, they've been missing some big pieces. Obviously, Skubal, the latest to go down, but Casey Mize has been out. Justin Verlander went down. They've got 2 pitchers recovering from Tommy John surgery, Reese Olson and Jackson Jobe, who would be in the rotation. That's a pretty good 5 on the injured list. That's pulled to right field, a base hit for Soto. Bichette turns second, he'll go on to third. So Juan Soto snaps an 0 for 13. Bichette and Soto with back-to-back hits to get the Mets table set in the third.
Well, this is what you envisioned when you think about this Mets lineup. When you have to face Bichette and Soto, you expect base hits, and you do to start this third. Bichette knew that once this got past McKinstry, it was going to be to the left of the right fielder, Perez, so he knew it was easy to go from first to third.
There's Vientos. Pops one foul off the right side. Torkelson hoping, but it's beyond his reach. One thing to keep in mind also as this series goes along, with Green and Vierling and Perez in the outfield, not a lot of strong arms out.
Not strong arms, not a lot of speed either.
And they're missing 2 big pieces, particularly their center fielder Parker Meadows, who can really get them. Vientos was caught looking his first time up. And he takes one the other way for a base hit, and that'll tie up the game. Bichette is in. Soto stops at second. Mark Vientos with the 3rd straight Met hit drives in a run to make it 2-2. 10 RBIs in the last 10 games for Mark Vientos. Well, Flaherty has spent this entire game keeping the ball away to the right-hand hitters, and the Mets have made the adjustment.
Well, I don't know what to call this other than humble at bats. The ability to take what the pitcher's giving you, not try to hit the ball out of the ballpark, just drive in some runs. Love this swing by Vientos. This ball's right on the corner. I know it's waist high, but still, ball hit sharply to the right side.
Melendez fouls back a fastball. MJ drew a walk and scored the Mets run in the second inning. 3 straight hits from Bichette, Soto, and Vientos to plate a run to get the Mets even. Still nobody out. With Red Beatty on deck. Flaherty, after all that work in the second, coming up a little short here in the third. And Melendez just got a piece of that slider to stay on
Watch the overhead of this pitch to Vientos. See how long he waits on this pitch. And look where the contact is, folks. Just in front of the plate. Hitting it that late allowed him to really drive that ball to right field. Good shot we had there.
Melendez spits on the curveball as Dingler is able to block it. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I don't envy these pitchers. What has happened is they've been taught to pitch at a level where they're throwing 96 and 97 miles an hour, where they have a lot of swing and miss. But then when they come back to the pack, whether it's injury or innings or age, harder to pitch when your fastball's in the 92 range.
And Melendez skies one to shallow right. In comes Perez to call. He makes the catch. Soto fakes the go, but will hold on at second base. And that's the first out of the inning. You know, Flaherty's 30 years old now. He was drafted out of high school, so he's got a lot of innings under his belt.
A lot of innings, a lot of postseason innings. He's had an arm injury or 2. Those all add up. I just think when you're taught to get people out in a variety of ways, then maybe it gives you a little better chance as you get later in your career.
Now Brett Beatty, who had the Mets' first hit, a single to right center in the second. And Beatty fouls one away.
I mean, we tend to forget the season he had in 19 was Matt Harvey-like. I mean, that's how you felt about Flaherty at that point.
Soto at second. Vientos at first with 1 out. Beatty fouls back a fastball. For the second straight hitter, Flaherty gets ahead of the count.
Well, the knuckle curve and slider, 45% of the time, and the 4-seamer, but he hasn't been able to throw that breaking ball much tonight, and when he's thrown it, it hasn't been a strike.
As you see, he doesn't really have a changeup. Throw it occasionally, but only for show. Beatty takes one toward left center field, up the gap. Green gets there and makes the catch. And Soto has to hustle to get back to second. Beatty hit that ball hard, but Green did a nice job running it down for the second out.
So Soto thought that maybe this was going to catch the gap, so he takes off running, but realizes that Green did a good job of catching up to that ball and fired it in quickly.
So now 2 out and 2 on for Marcus Semien, who hit the ball hard his first time up, lined out to left field. He takes a slider off the plate for ball 1. 3 straight hits from Bichette, Soto, and Vientos plated a run, but now Flaherty with a chance to limit the damage if he can get through Semien. And Marcus spits on that one. Soto takes off for third, and he makes it safely on a good dirt ball read. Holding it first is Vientos.
It was a combination, Gary, of a dirt ball read, but also no one really holding on Soto. So once Dingler couldn't keep that in front of him, Soto was so far off the bag that it was an easy take of the extra base.
Second wild pitch of the season for Flaherty. First and third with 2 out. 2-0 to Semien with Ewing on deck. And Semien hits one toward the hole. McGonigal on the backhand. The long throw to first base is in time. He got him. Wow. Second fine play in the hole by McGonigal, and he throws out Semien, who still runs well. That's settled. Fourth inning at Citi Field. Mets have come from 2 runs down to tie. Freddie Peralta tries to keep it there against the lower third of the order. Gage Workman leads off and hits the first pitch curveball foul. 0-1. Kevin McGonigal making an eye-popping play to save a run.
I mean, to not only get to that ball with this great speed, but to get enough on this throw to get Simeon at first. What a play.
Almost a good hands replay. That was grounded to first, a fair ball. And Vientos takes it in the bag to retire Workman. I mean, seeing Simeon thrown out at that play, we figured maybe he didn't get out of the box well, but like he did.
Yeah, he did. He had his head down, running as hard as he could. So you just get to tip your cap and give the credit to their shortstop.
I mean, they've been raving about McGonigal since day one. You can understand why. Here's Torkelson, who hit a sac fly to drive in the second Detroit run. He takes first pitch slider for a strike. Well, both these teams are going to be in their bullpens pretty soon. Flaherty's thrown 75 pitches through 3. Peralta was at 67 through 3. And this is away with a changeup, and it's 1-1. Freddie has continued to stymie other teams when they get runners into scoring position. It has not always been elegant. But they are now 3 for 40 against him when they get runners into scoring position.
Well, every pitcher, starting pitcher anyway, is going to have 2-3 innings where they're going to have people on base. How do you pitch through those moments? He does it as well as anyone.
Yeah, the problem is tonight it's been every inning.
But every inning, of course, which boosts the pitch count, which probably leads to a 5-inning experience for Peralta.
It's been the case most of the time. Torkelson flies one out to right. Benj drifts over. And he makes the grab. 2 away. Seen the wind come into play tonight. The wind is blowing out, which you don't usually see when it's as cool as it is in Citi Field. 56 degrees right now. Now that flag never tells you much, but the ones at the top of the stadium, look there, blowing out.
I'm ready for some vitamin D, Gary. I need some warm weather. Let's go.
Well, you know, we went to Phoenix for the weekend, and it was over 100 every day. And Friday night, they opened the roof.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
It was 99 game time. Roof was open. Mets won. Closed the roof the next 2 days. So it happened.
Nada.
So, you know, maybe this is a warm weather team.
It's a story. Didn't Randy Johnson hated when the roof was open? Something like that, right?
Yeah, 2004. The Mets were playing there. They had the roof open for a game. Kaz Matsui led off the game with a home run that barely cleared the left field fence. Randy stormed off the mound, had them close the roof. Line to right field, and Benj is there to make the catch, and he never pitched again with the roof open at that ballpark. And by the way, his start after that, he threw a perfect game against the Braves. 2-2 in the fourth. Who poses a bigger threat to the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals, the Pistons or the Cavs? Here the discussion on the latest putback with Ian Begley. Check it out now on SNY's YouTube page. Home fourth inning in a 2-2 game, and A.J. Ewing will get his second plate appearance. First one was impressive. The 21-year-old rookie will walk on a 3-2 pitch against Jack Flaherty. So his on-base percentage is 1,000. And he takes first pitch slider at his feet for ball 1. Ewing, Alvarez, and Benj for the Mets in the fourth. It's got a run in the second, a run in the third against Flaherty, who started this inning with 75 pitches through 3 innings. And Ewing hits one well to center field. Back goes Vierling. He'll have room on the warning track to make the catch. So Ewing gave it a ride, but it's caught on the warning track for the first out.
It was a loud crack. Dad had to think that maybe he had a shot. Get out of here.
you know, in his first at bat in AAA a couple of weeks ago, Ewing hit a ball to almost exactly the same spot.
For a triple, right?
Triple, yeah. Outfield's a little better in the big leagues. Here's Alvarez, who drove in a run with a fielder's choice, and he pulls off that curveball. As much as A.J. Hinch does not want to get his bullpen up, he has no choice with Flaherty's pitch count elevated. Ronnie was mentioning how many innings that bullpen's worked, and even with the day off yesterday, they have been hard pressed. Now tomorrow they get Framber Valdez back from the suspension, and he'll pitch, so that'll give them a little better leeway. But they've been going lately since Struble got hurt last week with what they called 2 years ago pitching chaos, where they just throw 5 or 6 guys every game. Alvarez loses the challenge, and the Mets are out of challenges for the night.
I mean, another
bad one. I mean, it's 1 out and nobody on in a tie game. You can't be losing both of your challenges in the 4th inning. Alvarez just got a piece of that fastball to stay in.
baseball is an individual effort wrapped around a team concept. You can never lose. The team concept is more important than the individual effort.
You can see the look on Carlos's face. He is not happy. You don't want to take away the ability of the player to challenge an egregiously bad call, but you have to use your discretion.
My argument, Gary, is why not? Why can't you do that? If you prove that you can't hold yourself back in your at-bats, because there's a lot of emotion up there. You're not going up there always thinking level-headed. You're into the at-bat. You're grinding the at-bat. So I can understand how it can happen.
Well, that's what Freddie Freeman said going into the season. I don't know if he's challenged any calls, but he said he was not going to, that he was going to leave it for his catchers.
Should have had more players listen to him.
We'll count to Alvarez. Well, you had Melendez lose a challenge in the 2nd inning and then draw a walk.
Well, there's a case there where Dingler should have challenged that, but he didn't.
Right. Because they only have one challenge left. And Alvarez drives one to the gap in left center field. That's going to go all the way back to the wall. Francisco Alvarez pulls it at second base with a 1-out double. His 5th double of the year.
Just a little sweeper up in the strike zone, flat. Just away enough, maybe it got a little bit off the end for Alvarez. Didn't quite cover it, but a well-struck double indeed.
Carson Benj takes a slider for ball 1. Benj just popped a short fly to center 0 for 2. His 4th game leading off this year. The first 3 all came at Wrigley Field. He went 1 for 10 in that series. That's been experimenting with different lineups, different batting orders, trying to get something going. The addition of Ewing today, moving Benj to the leadoff spot, Soto to 3rd. And now 3-0 to Benj with Bichette on deck.
I mean, not only experimenting in the batting order, 4 different third basemen, different first basemen, 8 different left fielders. I mean,
they've had 10 different number 3 hitters.
There you go.
I think Soto is actually the 11th. I think it's the first time this year he's in 3rd. 3-1 to Benj. Flaherty about to throw his 90th pitch with 1 out in the 4th. And Benj fouled back the fastball. He had a good cut at that. Tyler Holton, the left-hander, is up in the Tigers bullpen. Probably if this inning gets to Soto, we'll see him. 3-2 to Benj. He fouls away a fastball. Alvarez at second with 1 out. Flaherty gets another new baseball. (3-2) coming. And Benj fouls away another fastball. Flaherty has thrown as many as 97 pitches in a start this year. Might get to that in the 4th inning tonight. Park in the Park night. 3-2. Line the other way. Base hit for Bench. Here comes Alvarez around third. He heads for the plate, and he'll score without a throw. And the Mets grab their first lead of the night. Carson Bench with the opposite field single to drive in a run, and it's 3-2 New York.
After the difficult start for Bench, he is now starting to wear a path, isn't he? Right in that corridor, over the shortstop's head, between the left and center fielder, and that's become his baseball heaven for base hits.
That's the way Keith Hernandez used to do it.
There you go.
Now Bench at first. And Bichette takes a slider off the plate. Bichette's been on base twice. He walked and then he singled and scored in the third, snapping an 0 for 15 stretch. And this will probably be Flaherty's last batter, with the lefty Holton up in the bullpen and Soto on deck. I really thought that Bench would take off early in this at bat, with Flaherty distracted by his lack of success. Bench is 6 for 6 stealing bases this year.
You have to respect the move of Flaherty, though. He's got a good one from the right side. Quick feet, quick snap throw. And Dingler throws as well as anyone in the game.
Yep. 1-1 to Bichette. And the curveball fouled off. And it's 1-2. Flaherty's talking to himself.
Yeah, this is one of those starts where you'll be sitting in the clubhouse way too early.
So many of these lately. He'll match a season high with his 97th pitch. And he strikes out Bichette for the second out. With the second strikeout for Flaherty, and that'll be the last pitch he throws. A.J. Hinch on his way to the mound, and he'll bring in the lefty Holton to face Soto. Mets have taken the lead here in the fourth, 3-2. Call to the bullpen brought to you by Nissan. Shop NissanUSA.com. Around the majors, presented by Spectrum. Kyle Schwarber hit another home run tonight. That's 6 in his last 20 at bats. He's homered in 5 straight games. He's had the biggest power in May. Rafael Devers has come alive. Brandon Marsh has had himself a great month. Marsh, I think, led the league in hitting going into the day, didn't he?
Yes. Well, Tyler Holton coming in for the Tigers. He started back-to-back games this year, but as the opener. Last year, 70 appearances, 6 of them starts. He's got 6 different pitches, so even though he's a reliever, it's like bringing in a starter.
Soto's 0 for 3 in his career against Holton, and he takes first pitch fastball for a strike. Soto had a base hit to right field in the third inning. Bats here with Bench at first and 2 out. Mets have taken the lead. They've scored a run in each of the last 3 innings. Bench's RBI single putting them in front. And Soto takes a fastball outside. It's 1-1. Holton, 29 years old, Florida State product. Started out with the Diamondbacks, now in his 4th year with the Tigers. 70 games last year. It's a lot these days.
Yep.
And that curveball almost bedecked him. 2 balls and a strike.
Well, that breaking ball started behind Juan. It was head high, so he had to bail.
Is that a modern mullet that Holton is sporting there?
With little shaved sides.
2-1 coming. And he threw him another curveball, and this one Soto was pulling off after one went over his head. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I'd like to see Juan just stay on this guy and try to shoot it to left center. He's got enough power to go out.
Green not playing very deep in left field. There goes Bench, and Soto fouls one off. That'll go out of play as Bench goes diving into second base. As a base runner, if you hear contact, how does that adjust whether you slide, look up, take a turn?
Well, I think if you hear contact, no need to slide. right? But I think it might be too late because he's got so much speed and was close to the bag. I mean, if there's contact with 2 outs, you're trying to turn that into scoring from first.
Soto uses his timeout. Juan snapped an 0 for 13 stretch with his base hit in the 3rd. Batting 3rd in the order for the first time this year. There goes Benj and a half swing. Soto and around for strike 3. So Holton comes in and gets his man, but the Mets grab the lead on Benj's RBI hit. It's 3-2. Well, the Detroit Tigers have a rich and long history. Ty Cobb, one of the greatest hitters of all time. Hank Greenberg, one of the greatest home run hitters of all time. Al Kaline, one of the best all-around hitters of all time. Been playing baseball in Detroit since the American League started in 1901.
Yep. Al Kaline, I believe, came up when he was 19 years old, right? Hit 340 or something.
Won the batting title at age 20, the youngest man ever to win the batting title.
4 World Series titles. I remember the '84 team because they started, I believe, 35-5 that year.
Beat the Padres in the World Series that year. Freddie Peralta could use a quick 5th inning. Kevin McGonigal's been on base twice already with an infield single and a walk. He's stolen a base. He's also made 2 outstanding plays in the field. You expect Peralta to throw a lot of pitches. His average this year coming into the night over 17 pitches per inning. And he strikes out McGonigal with a high fastball. So McGonigal retired for the first time tonight, and all of a sudden Peralta's retired 7 in a row. And Sparky Anderson won the World Series with the Reds and another with the Tigers. Alan Trammell, Hall of Famer.
Never saw him make a bad throw. Chest high every single time.
People want to know why, if Alan Trammell is in the Hall of Fame, his double play partner Lou Whitaker is not.
Don't have an answer for you. He should be.
There are a number of second basemen who should be, particularly in the wake of Jeff Kent having been elected. I mean, how about Bobby Grich?
That's right.
How about Willie Randolph? I mean, all these guys that were completely overlooked in the writers' ballots, and you don't hear their names mentioned for the Veterans Committee.
And if you think of Willie Randolph, his numbers now look better than they did even when he played, you know, the on base.
Matt Bierling flies one toward the right field line. Ben Jesus over and gets there with a lunging grab right before he hits the sidewall for the 2nd out.
Well, he was trying to time it because there's 2 ways to play this. Get there quickly at the wall, but if you're going too hard or too fast, you won't be able to stop yourself before that low wall. So he kind of just timed it to make sure that he was decelerating once he got close to that wall.
So that's 8 straight retired by Peralta since the double by Colt Keith leading off in the 3rd. Peralta stranded him with a couple of strikeouts and a pop-up, and Keith has himself another base hit. So Colt Keith is 2 for 3.
I mean, if he gets that out, maybe he's out there for the 6th with a chance to get through 6, but Keith foils it with the base hit to right. Colt Keith, that is.
No, if it's just Keith, it's 98.6.
That's right. There he is.
That's 17. Different number entirely.
I mean, he did a great job. I don't know if he's listening to us. I'm sure he is. But just to come back from that back surgery, and I listened to all the games when you were away, he was top of his game.
And we needed that.
Yes.
Because, you know, those games in Arizona the last couple of days are somewhat stultified.
That's a good word for it, Gary.
Austin Warren up in the Mets bullpen. 1-1 to Green, and he pulls one toward the hole. That'll go through for a base hit. Keith to 2nd. He's going to try for 3rd. Benj with the throw to 3rd on a hop. It gets by. Backed up by Peralta. He's got to play at the plate, and Keith is tagged out
the plate. Keith saw the ball get by Peralta, but it hit off the fence in front of the dugout, and Peralta had plenty of time to gun him down at the plate to keep the tying run from scoring. Great job by Alvarez to reach for that throw and make the tag for the third out.
House.
Now, third base umpire Rob Drake wound up playing a large part in this last play.
Yeah, the hustle of McGonigal gets there. The ball goes past him. But see, as he's trying to score, he runs into Rob Drake and then tagged out by Alvarez. Drake's trying to call the play there, looking at the ball, and the runner just knocks him with his helmet. And Drake ends up with a bloody lip.
Mark Vientos flies one out to right on the first pitch by Tyler Holton in the bottom of the fifth. And Wencel Perez grabs it for the first out. I think that Peralta would have had a play on him anyway. I mean, he had him by so much. Alvarez has to do a better job, though, of tagging because he almost got under that tag.
He's got to almost throw his body in front and not allow McGonigal to even get to the plate because he had the ball in time. Good hustle by McGonigal. Didn't work out. I mean, the most interested in I was in that play until it got going. Sorry, Colt Keith, wrong player. Is wanted to see Benj throw, see his arm.
Yeah. Well, he made a strong throw. He wasn't going to get him at third base, though. And then Peralta was backing up, but the ball got by him. And he had to play the carom off the dugout fence.
I mean, the helmet right to the temple of Drake.
And Rob was holding his face after that was over. Clearly, he took the brunt of it.
It's an impossible situation for him because he was there to make the call on the throw to third. And then when the ball got away, he had to keep his eyeball on the overthrow because he had to see if it was going to touch the dugout or inside the dugout.
My question is, why is he in front of the bag rather than behind the bag?
Well, I think watching the play, he's trying to get the best angle to see the tag. And in his estimation, that was the best place to see the tag play.
Well, because he starts way behind the bag. But as the play develops, he's coming toward the bag. And Melendez goes down on strikes, so Holden's retired all three batters to face him. Let's watch, see where he goes.
Here's the third base umpire. He's behind the bag. He sees the throw coming in. He's looking at it.
Why did he stop there?
Oh, he stopped right behind the
going.
bag.
Yeah. See, he needed to stop
yes,
where
he did.
was.
He got in the field of play. That's what happened. And then Peralta, of course, backing up, made the play. We don't see enough pitchers back up.
The reason why Keith took off is because the ball initially got by Peralta, and then he was able to play the carom. And Keith was out by a substantial margin.
Freddie was a little late over there. And what you want to do in the future when you're backing up bases, get all the way to the dugout. Why? It gives you more time with the ball when it's overthrown or thrown by the third baseman. It gives you another 10, 12 feet to react. If you're too close, the ball gets on you too quick.
Now the question is Peralta still in this game? 89 pitches through 5. Austin Warren continues to throw in the bullpen.
Looks like he's still in.
Yeah, right? Usually when the pitchers are done, they're up on the railing. He's just doing some bends. He might still be involved. 3-1 to Beatty. And he takes a strike. He didn't think so, but the Mets are out of challenges. 3-2. Beatty's hit the ball hard twice today. Base hit to right center, line out to left. Now facing left-hander Holton, who has settled things down after Flaherty had a rough outing. And that's right there for strike 3. And Beatty is a strikeout victim, and Holton has a 1-2-3 fifth. 3-2 New York. Sixth inning, Freddie Peralta back out for more. 89 pitches through 5, so he's going to try and negotiate this sixth inning with Dylan Dingler leading off. Dingler accounted for the first run of this game with a home run in the second, struck out in the third. And he swings through that fastball, 0-1. Austin Warren staying busy in the bullpen in case Peralta needs help. High-speed pitching. Lots of fastballs from Peralta. There's another one on the corner, 97, and we've seen that a few times tonight. Extra velocity.
Yeah, 97 in the 6th.
And he just got a piece of that one to stay on the at-bat.
You know, Gary, I used to play mind games with myself when you get in these situations where you know this is the last inning of work and you're trying to get through this inning. I used to say to myself, if I get through this without giving up a run, I get 3 outs, we're going to win this game. Like, you play those, like, this is the most important thing to determine whether you're going to win the game or not.
Well, in this age of pitch counts, it is a probability that if Peralta gives him a base runner in this inning, he's out of the game.
Sure.
So it's almost like he has to be perfect. 1-2 to Dingler. And he struck him out with a high, hard one. Strikeout number 6 for Peralta. 1 out in the 6th inning.
Now, if you're watching with eyeballs and pitch counts, you'd say to yourself, he's throwing better right now than he was in the 2nd inning. It's 3rd inning. Threw that one right by Dingler.
Freddie's high pitch count this year is 101. 1 out and nobody on. Now Wencel Perez is 1 for 2. And he takes a change up for ball 1. Perez singled to center, scored a run in the 2nd, where the Tigers got both of their runs. They got a couple of 2-out hits in the 5th, but Keith thrown out at the plate. Foul ball off the left side, and nobody's going to get to that. It's in the seats, 1-1.
So Peralta's went through a stretch where his most important pitch was his changeup. Changeup has done very little tonight. It's been his fastball.
The one at bat where he was huge was that Riley Green at bat.
You got it, Gary.
Now the 2nd and 3rd strikes with changeups, and he has really been dialed in ever since. You know what the key to that was? Steve talking with A.J. Ewing's dad.
Yes.
That got Peralta turned around. Birch Smith is up in the bullpen for the Tigers. Tyler Holton's gotten 4 outs after Jack Flaherty had another rough start. One and 2 to Wencel Perez. And he got him looking at a fastball. 2-man down. Back-to-back strikeouts for Peralta.
It's time to go yard. Echo, power on and on.
So 2 out and nobody on. Gage Workman, who had an opposite field double in the 2nd, grounded out in the 4th, 1 for 2 in his first start for the Tigers. Workman came up through the Tigers farm system. He was drafted out of Arizona State by the Tigers, but he was taken in the Rule 5 draft 2 winters ago by the Cubs and made his major league debut there. Ground ball to short. Backhanded by Bichette. Goes across his body. Gets him by a stride. Side retired. 1-2-3 inning for Peralta. Matches his season high by going 6 innings. Let's leave it. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Spectrum. It's internet, mobile, and streaming TV all from one place. By Ford, the official truck of the Mets. Test drive their amazing lineup at your local Ford stores. And by the State Farm agent of the game, Floor Cawley of Glendale, New York. Contact Floor at floorcawley.com. It's a great picture of a young Howard Johnson as a Tiger. You know, when the Mets traded Lee Mazzilli, they got you and Walt Terrell in that deal, and then they turned Terrell around and turned him into Howard Johnson. I mean, Frank Cashin made some of the most outrageous trades.
He did.
Birch Smith is on to pitch for the Tigers in the home 6th. Marcus Semion's hit 2 balls hard in this game. No luck, though. He's lined out to left and then was robbed on a great play in the hole by Kevin McGonigal. Lower 3rd of the order, A.J. Ewing on deck, then Francisco Alvarez. Another masterful job by Peralta. He wasn't sharp early, but he found his way out of trouble, continues to stymie the opposition when they get opportunities, and limited the damage to 2 runs over 6. Simeon takes the curveball for strike 3 called. So Birch Smith starts his outing with a strikeout, and we check in with Steve Gelb. Steve?
So guys, my favorite A.J. Ewing story, I think, really shows his poise and maturity and attitude as a young player. It came last year, right before the season started. Farm director Andy Green went up to him and basically said, hey, I know you finished off really strong in low A last year, but we're going to start you off again this season in low A, something that would disappoint a lot of players. But A.J. Ewing just looked at him and said, that's fine. I won't be there that long. And then he went out in his first 18 games in low A, hit 400. By the end of the month, he had already advanced to high A Brooklyn.
By the end of the year, he was in double A Binghamton. Well, I think that the quickness with which Ewing has gotten here is a little shocking because he has progressed so quickly through the farm system. But it also is a reminder that the Mets have a lot of talent coming up through this system. Just tonight, Jack Wenninger, right-hander who we saw during spring training this year, threw 5 scoreless innings for Syracuse, 1 hit, lowered his ERA to 1.08. Jonah Tong's pitching well down there. Nick Morabito's playing well. Ryan Clifford is playing well. All those guys are on the cusp of making it to the major leagues. And because the Mets have such a veteran team, you figured none of them would get a shot this year. But because of injuries and lack of performance, here's Ewing getting his chance.
First knock right here.
3-1 from Smith. And he takes a strike, 3-2. Ewing in his debut has walked and fly to the warning track in center field. Second time he's worked a full count tonight. And he takes another walk. So Ewing's been on base twice by the base on balls. Dad loves him. We'll see if he can steal his first base now. He had 70 steals through 3 stops in the minors last year. He had 17 already in his first 30 games this year. Francisco Alvarez, the batter. We get a long double and scored the go-ahead run in the 4th after driving in a run with a fielder's choice his first time. And he takes a curveball off the plate for ball 1. Birch Smith is 36 years old. He's been with 8 different major league teams. He played in Japan. He played in Korea. He's a survivor.
Experienced bullpen arm, Derek.
And Ewing dives back to the bag. Andrew Joseph Ewing takes his lead at first.
There he goes. Throw by Dingler, not in time. And A.J. Ewing has his first major league stolen base. And he stole it easily.
He's so fast that he ran out of his helmet. Tried to hold it on, but then tossed it away. Watch. So fast, the helmet comes off, he tosses it away, and still easily steals second base. He had a little run and start there, so smart base runner as well. Boy, he's fast. He gets low to the ground as he's running.
He's explosive, no question. I mean, I compared his speed to Trey Turner before. Looks a little like Trey Turner, too. Two and one to Alvarez with a runner in scoring position. And Francisco had a good hack at that fastball and fouled it back.
Well, from Birch Smith, his best pitches are his curveball and his cutter. Cutter against the right-handers.
Carson Benj waiting on deck. 2-2 coming. And Alvarez had another hack at a fastball and fouled it back. Comes up flexing that right knee.
hurt his knee on the follow through, or I mean, he's swinging so hard that kind of lost his balance. Watch how big this swing is. And
Like
then
he
as he
twisted
kind of
that knee a little bit.
Yep.
Joe Golia, the head athletic trainer, is going to come out and have a look.
It's an injury you very rarely see, someone twisting their knee because of the intensity of the swing. Watch the back leg as he clears and he turns, and you can see that little shift of the knee inward, twisting it just a bit.
Pulling on that ligament a little bit. And he's coming out of the game.
Wow.
Don't take any chances with a knee. So many of his injuries have been to his hands, not to his lower body. So Luis Torrens will get himself ready in a hurry to complete this at bat and stay in the game. I mean, he's walking okay, but you never know.
With a slight limp, though, with a slight limp. It's just you don't see batters hurting their back knee on a swing. But he has a violent swing, and sometimes I guess that produces what it just produced.
So Torrens will hit for Alvarez and then stay in the game behind the plate. He inherits a 2-2 count, which means that if he strikes out, it's charged to Alvarez. Any other result goes on Torrens' record. So Torrens gets the call with Ewing at second and 1 out. And he spits on the curveball and it's 3-2.
How did he do that?
That's hard to do. Torrens caught the last game in Arizona, went 2 for 3, had an RBI double in that game. And he strokes one foul. His bat had really been cold until that game Sunday. He hit one down the right field line to drive in a run, the only run the Mets scored in that game. And Manuel De Jesus is up in the Tigers bullpen. Again, the 3-2 to Torrens. And it's low, ball 4. So Torrens works out a walk, second in a row given up to Smith. And the Mets have 2 men aboard for Carson Bench. And the pitching coach Chris Fetter is going to head out to the mound to talk to his veteran right-hander. They've got the lefty up in the bullpen and Bench coming up, but they're going to leave him in to face Bench and presumably Bichette, and then have the lefty ready for Soto.
I mean, you got to be kicking yourself as a pitcher when a guy leaves the game with an injury. A guy cold off the bench comes in and you can't throw a strike. Gives the Mets a chance maybe to get a couple of runs here. Bottom of the order, getting on base.
Carson Bench drove in the go-ahead run in this game in the 4th inning. Elevated to the leadoff spot tonight. Drove in his 12th run of the year with a single to left center against Jack Flaherty. Flaherty went 3 2/3, allowed 3 runs, 6 hits, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. Tyler Holton retired all 4 to face him, but Smith, after a strikeout, has walked the 8 and 9 hitters. And now Bench with 2 on. And he takes a strike on the inside edge. 0-1. Carson started the night hitting just 179 with runners in scoring position, but he's already boosted that in this game. And holds the swing on the curveball, and it's 1-1. That scored single runs in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th inning. first time in more than a month that they've scored in 3 straight innings. April 11th, the last time that happened. And I try to tack on here in the 6th. And Bench takes another one on the inside edge. And it's 1-2.
Both Flaherty and Smith, right-handers, have pounded Bench in with that fastball.
Goes away with the changeup, and it's 2-2. George Smith, they're a passing resemblance to the late Ron Taylor, a big part of the '69 Mets. 2-2, up and in, and a full count. Ron Taylor, who had a great career and then a second career as a team physician with the Blue Jays. 3-2 with 1 out. Ewing at second. Torrens at first. And Bench hits one toward the middle of the diamond. McKinstry able to knock it down to save a run, but everybody's safe. Bench has his second hit of the night, and the Mets have the bases loaded for Bichette. Good play by McKinstry just to get to that ball and keep it from going to the outfield.
Yeah, this is a winning baseball by McKinstry. He's playing Bench the pull, so to get over there and knock it down and give his pitcher another chance to get out of this inning. Quite a play by McKinstry. Wasn't going to get an out anywhere.
So now the base is loaded with 1 out for Bichette. And Bo leans back from the fastball, ball 1. Bichette has walked, singled to right, and struck out. 1 for 2. He scored a run. Ewing at third. Torrens at second. Bench at first. And the curveball pulled foul. It's an area where Bichette has thrived throughout his career, hitting in RBI situations, trying to find that groove as a Met. And Bo grounds one to third, a chance for 2. The throw to second goes into right field. Ewing is in. Torrens will score. Should have been an inning-ending double play. Instead, the Mets get 2 runs, and they lead it 5-2 as Gage Workman threw that ball into right field.
Well, Workman never really set himself. See, he plays this off to the left, so then he has to make the throw on the run. So his arm angle is down. If he plays that, kind of scoots over and plays it in front of him, he has a much easier throw to second base. This one just sailed on him and cost the Tigers 2 runs.
Pitching change. The lefty comes in to face Soto. Mets up 5-2. We'll be right back. Road Ahead presented by Infinity. Night game tomorrow, day game Thursday with the Tigers, then 3 with the Yankees over the weekend before the Mets go to Washington and Miami on their next road trip. Mets have scored twice here in the 6th on the throwing error by Gage Workman, and now Manuel De Jesus will come in to face Juan Soto. Soto's 1 for 3 tonight, first and third, 1 out. And Soto takes a fastball strike. Give Bichette an RBI because you can't assume a double play. First run scores on a fielder's choice, second on the error. As Ewing and Torrens came in to score, Bench went all the way to third. Bichette on at first, 0-1 to Soto. Fouls away that cutter, and it's 0-2.
Soto's not going to get very many at-bats later in these games in this series against A.J. Hinch, where he's not facing a left-hander.
They have 3 lefties in the bullpen. This is the second one. Soto facing De Jesus for the first time. He made his big league debut, De Jesus did, with the Marlins back in 23. Then he went to Korea, where he pitched the last 2 years. And now in his 11th game with Detroit. 29-year-old Venezuelan. 0-2 to Juan.
And he gets a fastball, hits it slowly to first. Torkelson bobbles in, and a run will score. And no chance to get the double play once he bobbled it. Bench comes in to score the third run of the inning. And it's 6-2 New York.
Well, really stuck in a place. I don't know what Torkelson was thinking about turning two. There's no way to turn two when you charge a ball like that. Your play would be, if Benj is charging, to maybe make a play at the plate.
So 3 runs are in thanks to some shoddy defense, and now Vientos with Bichette at second and 2 out takes a fastball for a strike. Vientos drove in a run with an opposite field single in the third, his 10th RBI in the last 10 games. You know, we talked coming into this game about the Mets' offensive woes and how sometimes an infusion of youthful energy can make a difference. Well, A.J. Ewing's gotten aboard twice on walks, and the Mets have scored in both of those innings.
Line to center field, coming on quickly, Vierling, and he slides to make the catch. Nicely done by Vierling. That saved a run, and it ends the bottom of the 6th inning. But the Mets cash 3 runs, and they lead at 6-2 after 6. Beautiful shot of the Washington Square Arch, looking downtown, past NYU and all the way to the World Trade Center. Brooks Raley on to pitch the 7th inning. Spencer Torkelson leads off against him and pulls the first one foul.
Raley pitched 4 times on this recent road trip, twice in Anaheim, once in Colorado, and then once in Arizona. Beautiful numbers across the board for Brooks.
Pitched Friday night in Arizona. No runs, 1 hit in his inning of work. You know, there's been a lot of commentary about the Mets bullpen and its composition. And there was one time in that series in Colorado when it burned them because both Myers and Minaya had trouble, and the Mets had to bring in Raley and Williams behind them each time to protect a big lead. Big hop for Bichette. But for the most part, this composition with Peterson working behind openers and with Minaya in the long roll and Myers able to go multiple innings, I think it's really worked.
Yeah, and it gives them a chance, I think, to get some continuity in that bullpen. You know, bullpen guys like rolls. Well, this is the closest you're going to come to rolls for those guys out there.
You know, it's kind of as how you leave will bat for McKinstry to give him a right-handed bat against Raley. It's kind of, we were talking before about Dave Roberts and how he ran his bullpen in that 24 postseason. It's almost like when the Mets are down big, they roll out Minaya or Myers for a bunch of innings, and that saves the A relievers for the games they have a chance to win.
100%. And if Minaya and Tobias Myers do their job, then maybe you can come back if your offense is working on all cylinders.
Right. And again, the one time it really didn't work was when they had a huge lead and they couldn't, you know, save the A relievers for another day. But that's been the exception, not the rule. Poked the other way by Lee, and Bench won't get there. It lands for a 1-out single. So a pinch hit single for Hao Yu Lee, the Taiwanese infielder.
Just off the end of the bat, left hip came out early, but the bat covered that outside part of the plate, just first it over there into right field.
So 1 out and 1 on. Now Kevin McGonigal grounds one to first, foul ball. McGonigal's been on base twice tonight with an infield hit and a walk. He's stolen a base. Struck out his last time up against Peralta. Freddie went 6 innings. Limited the damage to 2 runs on 7 hits, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts, a home run, 100 pitches. His ERA down a couple of ticks to 3.10. And McGonigal has to vacate. The helmet goes flying.
So many good young players in the game. McGonigal loses his helmet. Just get us out of the way of that fastball up and in. McGonigal, Connor Griffin, J.J. Weatherholt.
I mean, the rookie class this year is stacked. The National League, Nolan McLean's probably at the top of the heap right now, but
that's pulled down the right field line. A base hit for McGonigal, chased by Bench. McGonigal's going to try for two. Here's the throw by Bench, the second, not in time. McGonigal beats it with a double. He's on base for the third time tonight, and the Tigers have runners at second and third.
Boy, McGonigal is a player. Didn't give anything up against the left-hander. Knocked down with the fastball the prior pitch. It comes back and hits a bullet to right field. Nice throw by Bench. Too much speed by McGonigal. He's got great speed as well. We saw it defensively and here on the offensive side.
so now Matt Vierling will step in against Raley. Vierling's gone 0 for 3 tonight. Tigers making some noise here in the 7th, second and third, one out. And Vierling pulls the sweeper foul into the netting, 0-1. Phillies beat the Red Sox tonight, 2-1 behind 7 1/3 strong innings from Zach Wheeler, who looks like he's back to himself. 2-0, 2.55 ERA since coming back. Infield back with a 4-run lead. Vierling takes a sinker outside, 1-1.
Red Sox feeling some of the same pain the Mets have felt as far as getting things done offensively.
With Weaver up in the bullpen.
Little looper over second, but there's Semien to back up and make the play.
Ball had just enough top spin on it that it came down to Semien without any harm for the second out.
Boy, that's a big looked like a base hit off the bat.
Now we're going to get another right-hand pinch hitter. Jahmai Jones will bat for Colt Keith. Now the question is, do you bring in Weaver at this point, or do you leave Raley in, knowing that if Jones keeps the inning going, you got the left-hand hitting Green on deck?
Leave Raley in there. Raley's experienced. He's proven that he's one of the best arms you got in that bullpen. Veteran, been here before.
Jahmai Jones really hurt the Mets last year. Played for the Yankees a couple of years ago. So they've had a Smith and a Jones in this game. No alias is necessary. Second and third, 2 out. And the first pitch sweeper swung and missed, 0-1. Tigers are 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position in this game. And it stays outside, a ball and strike. Jones has a base hit in his only career at bat against Raley. He's gone 8 straight appearances without allowing a run, but trying to negotiate some traffic here in the 7th. And Jones can't hold the swing, and it's 1-2. 3 straight sweepers from Raley against the right-hand batter. The changeup now?
I think he stays with that sweeper, the one he throws that starts down the middle and almost hits Jones in the back foot.
1-2 coming. And the sweeper hit foul down the right side. That was not necessarily where he wanted it.
No. Got away with the pitch. This is the biggest at bat for Mets pitching tonight so far.
Pirates beat the Rockies 3-1 tonight. Paul Skeens held the Rockies without a hit for the first 6. Wound up going 8, 2 hits, 10 Ks.
Take away that Mets start on opening day. It's been pretty good.
Lee at third, McGonigal at second, and Jones is down on strikes as Raley comes up and in to get him and retire the side, stranding 2 in scoring position. Still 6-2.
Erica.org.
How you Lee stays in the game for the Tigers. He'll play second. base. Austin Slater will bat for MJ Melendez with the left-hander DeJesus still in the game. The Mets DFA'd Andy Ibanez today to make room for A.J. Ewing. But Slater is still here. He got the start Sunday against the left-hander, went 0 for 4. Off to a good start though as a Met, 5 hits and 16 at-bats. Slater, then Beatty and Simeon for the Mets in the 7th. Jesus came in to get the final 2 outs in the 6th, helped out by a beautiful sliding catch by Matt Vierling in center field. And Slater swings and misses at a changeup, and it's 1-2. Well, the pinch hitters for the Mets haven't done much better than the starting hitters. Although Torrens drew a walk in that last inning, and that was huge. Set the stage for a 3-run inning.
1 strike to work with.
1-2 to Slater. And he takes a fastball for a strike 3 call. So there's the first strikeout for Emmanuel DeJesus.
I'd like to challenge that, but I can't.
So 1 out, nobody on. Now Brett Beatty, who's 1 for 3 tonight. And he grounds one toward the middle. Lee knocks it down but can't make a play. And Beatty's got his 2nd hit of the night. So the Mets have a 1-out base runner. Hey kids, you can join us in the booth to call half an inning of the Mets game on SNY. Parents, scan the code and submit your child's video for a chance to win the 2026 SNY Kitcaster contest presented by HSS.
Great effort here by Lee. Gets over there and plenty of time, but catches it right on the heel of the glove. And once he couldn't secure it, base hit.
Marcus Semien swings over a cutter. Semien's gone 0 for 3 tonight, but he's hit the ball hard twice. Last time up, he was called out on strikes. And he pops this one up behind first base. Coming over is Lee to make the call, and he hangs on for the out, 2 away. And now A.J. Ewing, and if you're wondering, are they going to bat for Ewing against the lefty? Well, Carlos Mendoza said before the game today, he was asked, are you going to platoon Ewing and Taylor in center? He said, no, A.J. Ewing's here to play.
Nice.
Against lefties and against righties. A.J.'s made his presence felt in this game, drawing a couple of walks, stealing a base, scoring a run in his first big league game. Beatty at first with 2 out. So here's a trivia question for you.
Okay.
Mets with Ewing and Benj in the lineup tonight. Last time they had 2 rookie outfielders in the starting lineup. You got to go back 5 years, May of 2021.
Pulled down, a base hit for Ewing, his first major league hit. It'll roll to the wall. Let's watch him run. Beatty goes to third. He's going to be waved around. Ewing's going to go all the way to third as Beatty scores on A.J. Ewing's first big league hit, an RBI triple, and it's 7-2 New York. Mama, look at him run.
Apologies to Brett Beatty. I didn't watch him run a lick. I just kept my eyes on Ewing, and he is fast. He gets low to the ground. Watch when he turns it on here. Watch how low he gets. And just leans into that third base. And from second to third.
Yeah, he wasn't sure when he got to second, but he picked up his third base coach. The biggest question was if Beatty was going to get stopped at third. But once Tim Leeper waved him, no question that Ewing was going to make it to third. Third time on base tonight, his first big league hit. Pitching change for the Tigers. We'll be right back.
Every single day.
21-year-old A.J. Ewing has made his presence felt in his first big league game. A couple of walks, a steal, and now a triple for his first big league hit and first RBI. Ricky Vanasco gets curveball in for a strike to Luis Torrens.
Oh, that's his best pitch. Straight over the top, breaking ball for Vanasco.
Torrens pinch hit for Alvarez, who left the game with an apparent knee issue and drew a walk in the 6th. And Vanasco picks off the outside corner, 1-1. So the answer to our trivia question.
Yes.
The last time the Mets had 2 rookie outfielders in the starting lineup, May of 2021. If you don't look it up on Baseball Reference, there's no chance of getting this right. The center fielder, well, let's start. The non-rookie in the outfield is Cameron Maybin playing left field.
Okay.
Center fielder, Janeshwi Fargas.
Yeah, I spent his whole time in the major leagues not being able to pronounce his name.
Or spell it. And the right fielder was Khalil Lee.
Left-handed hitter they got from Kansas City.
I mean, talk about obscure.
I remember Khalil because it was such a struggle. I think he struck out in his first, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 at bat. Something crazy.
Yep. 2-2 to Torrens. Takes that changeup down to 3-2.
Ground ball toward the hole, that'll go through for a base hit for Torrens, and that brings in Ewing to make it 8-2 New York.
Torrens, whose bat has come alive these last couple of games, doing what he does best, going the other way.
Fastball upstairs, got on top of it to drive it through that hole. Just has a great approach, a smart approach, does Torrens each and every time he's in there.
So now Carson Bench, who has 2 hits and an RBI, and he takes a knee-high strike.
Well, Ewing has really filled out the stat sheet, as they say tonight, with a couple of runs scored, a triple for his first hit, stolen base, a couple of walks.
We have seen the future, and it might be the present.
And it is now.
Bench and Ewing between them. 3 hits, couple of walks, 2 RBIs, 3 runs scored. Curveball bends in for a strike, and it's 1-2.
You know, when you bring young players up, you not only get the energy, but you also get, he hasn't been with the team. He doesn't have that dark cloud hanging over him. He's just doing what he wants to do. I saw that.
See the OPS?
Yes.
Grounded down to first and handled by Torkelson, and that'll end the inning. But the Mets tack on 2 more. As we watch the speed of A.J. Ewing. Yeah, Carlos Mendoza, more of that.
Hey, it's Gary and Todd. Mercedes-Benz post-game live on the way. Pretty good story here, A.J. Ewing.
Oh, yeah, a lot of excitement about A.J. And as well, we're going to take a look at Freddie Peralta and how he navigated tonight.
All right, we'll see you guys coming up. Post-game show. Garrett, Roddy, back to you.
Honda Sports Night comes your way after the post-game show. Lots more on the Mets today. Jets make some big news. Honda Sports Night tonight after the post-game. Austin Warren on to pitch the 8th inning with the Mets now with a 6-run lead. Carved down the left field line by Green, but overcomes Soto to make the running grab. 1 pitch, 1 retired in the 8th.
Boy, in a perfect world, we'd love to see Austin Warren get the last 6 outs of this game. He's been up to the task each and every time. Hasn't allowed an earned run in his last 6 appearances.
Last time out in Arizona on Saturday. Worked an inning of the 3rd. No runs, 1 hit. 1 out and nobody on. Dylan Dingler, the batter. So A.J. Ewing is the first Met ever to triple in his major league debut.
Wow.
That covers 65 years of Mets baseball. First Met to triple in his first big league game.
Making history already.
And it's helped the Mets to score 8 runs tonight which is more runs than they scored in their last 4 games combined. They had 7 runs in their last 4 games. Ocho this evening, and they've scored in 5 different innings. In a game they once trailed 2-0. Dingler accounted for the first run with a home run, and he takes a strike even though Torrens didn't catch the ball. It's 2-1.
Batter's challenging the pitch.
Well, he's going to challenge the call. Tigers have 1 challenge remaining, and he wins the challenge. So instead of 2-1, it's 3-0.
Has 1 challenge remaining.
Well, because of that triple now that Ewing, no one's done what he's done in an opening game, his first big league game, right, with the 2 walks and 2 runs scored, and of course the triple. That'll be hard to catch that one.
So the Mets just announced on Alvarez what we already knew, that he left the game with what they're calling a right knee injury. What's the extent of the right knee injury? Well, that's going to make a big difference in terms of what the prognosis is. They say he's going to undergo imaging tomorrow. Dingler draws a walk. Meanwhile, in Syracuse, Hayden Singer hit his 6th home run of the year tonight. He's been really swinging the bat well, and then they took Singer out of the game, presumably to protect him in case they need to call him up if Alvarez is significantly injured. 1 out and 1 on. Here's Wenzel Perez, who's 1 for 3, and he takes a sweeper for a strike.
Get the Uber ready, Gary.
Another sweeper in for a strike, and Warren gets ahead 0-2. Freddie Peralta went the first 6, allowed 2 runs, 7 hits. Was in trouble in the first 3 innings and escaped it, and the Mets got him a lead, and he's now pitcher of record on the long side. Brooks Raley worked an inning, allowed no runs, 2 hits, and now Warren. One-two to Perez. And he fouls back that sweeper. The Nats have hit 6 home runs tonight in Cincinnati. They lead 10-2 in the 9th. That team can hit.
Yes, they can hit.
Broken bat grounder. Vientos has it. Out at second. Bichette back to first. Not in time.
Perez just runs too well. They get the 3-6 fielder's choice for the second out.
I like how Mark did that, though. He got rid of it, and he put something on it. Watch the big hop, ready position, gets down, the spin, and a bullet. Gets it there early. And Dingler did not slide, so Bichette had to throw over his head. Dangerous play. You don't slide.
You can throw it right between his eyes.
You can. I mean, that's not going to happen anymore, but there was a time.
Gage Workman takes low and away. The Braves won again tonight. They beat the Cubs 5-2. 4 pitchers combined on a 1-hitter.
2 best teams in the National League right now.
Probably the most significant thing that happened for the Braves tonight is that Ha-Sung Kim made his Atlanta debut. Remember, they signed him to a free agent deal to be their everyday shortstop, and then he fell on the ice in Korea and missed the first 6 weeks of the season.
And Matt Olson making an early run for MVP.
Don't leave out Drake Baldwin.
Yeah.
He has not had the sophomore jinx yet. He looks like the real deal. 2-1 to Workman. You know, and they've run out to this 29-13 record in the last few weeks without Ronald Acuna.
Schwellenbach. They've got a lot of injuries over there as well.
But they got Strider back now. Pitched really well in his second start. It's going to be hard to catch. I mean, they had a 9-game lead in the division going into the day. That's huge for the 12th of May. Certainly gives you a lot of room for dealing with the vagaries of what's to come. 2-2 from Warren. And Workman goes down swinging on the sweeper. And Warren puts up another 0. We go to the bottom of the 8th, 8-2 New York. Home 8th inning, Bo Bichette takes a curveball high from Ricky Vanasco. Bichette's driven in a run. He's got a base hit. He's gone 1 for 3 tonight. Soto and Vientos to follow in the 8th. Vanasco came in to get the final out in the 7th after giving up an RBI hit to Torrens, staying on for the 8th. Vanasco started his big league career with the Dodgers, pitched only a couple of games for them before he came over to Detroit. I think he came to the Tigers when the Tigers traded Flaherty to the Dodgers at the deadline in 24.
Right. And then Flaherty re-signed with the Tigers.
Flaherty's outing tonight was no better than his previous one at Citi Field when he got tattooed in Game 5 of the LCS 2 years ago. Today, 3 runs and 6 hits over 3 2/3. Bichette grounds one foul just outside third. Bonk, bonk.
That's a Three Stooges.
Well, if Alvarez is going for imaging tomorrow, that's 2 important MRIs the Mets are going to have, because Francisco Lindor is due for one as well to follow up on his calf injury. Mets have not made any kind of pronouncement about Lindor and how long he'll be out. They're waiting for that next image 3 weeks after the first one.
Just got out of the boot, right?
He was in the boot for about a week. But he hasn't been able to do much. A little flare into shallow right center. Coming on is Perez, and he slides to make the catch to retire Bichette, 1 out. Well, the Mets have already made 3 trips to the West Coast. They're due for another one that starts in late May and goes into early June. And they go to Seattle and San Diego. And then they'll be done with the Pacific time zone. They won't play any game outside the Eastern and Central time zones the rest of the season. Has that had an impact on this team? Who's to say?
Well, they just had their best road trip in some time at 5-4. That could have been much better when you think about it.
Well, certainly every game they lost on that trip, they had an opportunity in. Soto had a base hit in the 3rd inning, drove in a run with a ground out in the 6th. 1 for 4 on the night.
Well, the Mets are only 6-12 at home, so they got to get much better than that. And Detroit has the worst record in baseball on the road, 7-16.
Well, the Mets had played 18 home games before tonight, as you said, 6-12. They'd scored 3 runs or fewer in 11 of the 18. That's up the middle, and Soto's got his 2nd hit of the night. A 1-out single in the 8th. The Mets' 11th hit of the game.
Well, with all the good things that have happened with Ewing and others tonight, just seeing Soto get a couple of hits, a couple of knocks is a nice sign. Choked up on the bat.
Mark Vientos is 1 for 4, was robbed of a hit on a fine play by Vierling in center field his last time. And he swings over that curveball, 0-1. Austin Warren will be asked to finish this game. Nobody up in the Mets bullpen. Tigers have 8, 9, and 1 in the order coming up in the 9th. The looper, shallow center. This may fall in, and it does for a base hit. Soto running all the way, read it perfectly, and he goes first and third. So Vientos has his second hit of the night.
Well, first, the whole play, you don't have to be fast to be a real good base runner. It's recognizing where the outfielders are, how hard the ball is hit. Soto knew it was a hit straight away. As soon as it was up in the air, he made the read and goes from first to third.
So that's a dozen hits for the Mets. And now Austin Slater up for the second time. And he hits a soft ground ball. And the pitcher bobbles it, and everybody's safe as a run comes home. Oh, wow. The Tigers have not distinguished themselves on routine plays tonight. And Vanasco could have at least gotten it out at first. Instead, he gets nobody.
Kind of stabs at it. I don't know why he was trying to make the transfer. He could have just ran over there and stepped on the bag.
So it's an error on the pitcher. Did they give him an RBI? Yes, they do. So Slater gets an RBI. Now it's 9-2. Brett Beatty has 2 hits tonight. Bench has 2 hits. Soto has 2 hits. Vientos, Beatty. Catcher's position has 2 hits. It's going to be really the only negative feature of this game is holding our breath about Alvarez. Hurt his knee while he was taking a swing and had to come out of the game in the middle of an at-bat. And Beatty goes down swinging on 3 pitches. That's the second out of the inning. So 2 out and 2 on for Marcus Semien. He's the only Met starter not to reach base tonight. 0 for 4. Vientos at second, Slater at first with 2 out. And Semien takes a strike. Tigers will have Torkelson, Lee, and McGonigal. Sounds like a law firm. They're coming up in the ninth. Torkelson, Lee, and McGonigal for all of your injury needs. Chopped off his foot to foul ball. 0-2. Tigers 2 runs and 9 hits. The Mets 9 runs and 12 hits. We're in the 8th. Start of a 6-game homestand. Night game tomorrow with Christian Scott on the mound. Day game Thursday with Nolan McLean going. Semien hits one slowly up the line, and this will be an infield hit. That'll load the bases. Another hit with a runner in scoring position for Semien.
Yeah, but Semien hit a bullet in his first at-bat. McGonigal made an unbelievable play in his second at-bat. His base hit is a 45-foot dribbler.
And now A.J. Ewing has a chance to put a capper on a memorable night. His first in the big leagues. He's already walked twice, tripled. He's driven in 1. He's scored 2. He's stolen a base along the way. Bases loaded, 2 out. And he takes the breaking ball outside for ball 1. 21-year-old A.J. Ewing making his presence felt. Felt the electricity from the moment he came out of the dugout for the first time tonight. Fans have been waiting for him, and they have been giving him ovation after ovation. This is a team that needed a spark, and A.J. has provided it his first day here. Too high, 2 balls and a strike. And now it's 3-1. And now he's in a great spot to get a pitch to hit from Vanasco. Vientos at third, Slater at second, Semien at first with 2 out. 3-1 to A.J. Ewing. And A.J. takes a strike, 3-2.
It's 2 times he's had a 3-1 count, gotten a fastball, but it was right on that inside corner. He took both.
So now the merry-go-round will be in motion. All 3 runners will be taking off. 3-2 to Ewing. And he walked him to force in a run. Second RBI for Ewing, on base for the 4th time. And the Mets now lead it 10-2. What an opening act.
Goodness.
I think we're going to get a position player to pitch for the Tigers. You can bring in a position player once you're down by 8 runs, and A.J. Hinch is going to go in that direction. Mets now lead 10-2, bottom of the 8th. We'll be right back. Time for New York's 8-1-1 digging deep moment of the game. A.J. Ewing's first big league hit. And once it went to the wall, you figured he could keep on running. And he did, all the way to third. First Met ever to triple in his first big league game. He's been on base 4 times tonight with 3 walks in addition to that triple. He scored twice, he's driven in 2. Welcome to the big leagues, kid. It's going well.
21 years old.
And now Jake Rogers, who's a catcher, will make his 7th career pitching appearance. Should have success just with the mustache alone.
Exactly.
Looks like Will Brimley?
Will Brimley. That's a good call.
Right?
A young Will Brimley.
And Luis Torrens takes his first pitch inside for ball 1. Torrens came up mid at bat for Alvarez in the 6th, drew a walk, then he singled in a run in the 7th. And Rogers falls behind 2-0. Rogers pitched a scoreless inning earlier this year. It's his 7th career pitching appearance. And he misses low with his 74-mile-an-hour fastball. And it's 3-0.
Triangle of catchers here with Dingler, Torrens, and Rogers.
Carson Dench would be next. And it's a wide strike, 3-1. No challenges. You're not allowed to challenge, by the way, with a position player on the mound.
Oh, really?
That's part of the rule. That one's, oh, come on. 3-2. So 2 pitches off the plate called strikes by Stu Sherwater. It's like, swing the bat, kid. Runners get set to go. 3-2 to Torrens. And Luis grounds one to third. Workman makes the throw on target to retire the side. So Rogers gets his man. Mets lead 10-2 going to the 9th.
Pistachio latte.
The 9th that A.J. Ewing will remember for the rest of his life. Met fans probably will too. Just 12 games in AAA. First game in the big leagues. Became the first Met to reach base safely 4 times in his major league debut since Kaz Matsui did it in 2004.
I mean, everything about it, you know, the energy he brought, the stolen base, the speed and the triple. 10 runs. I mean, it's been a long time.
I go back to his first plate appearance, right? He came up with 2 out and 2 on with the Mets down a couple of runs in the 2nd inning. And he took a close 3-2 pitch for ball 4.
Yeah.
I mean, that probably told you everything you needed to know. Spencer Torkelson leading off the 9th.
You know, they're just, you know, you can only be the best hitter you're going to be at this level if you swing at the pitches that are in the strike zone. And he has such a ability in the minor leagues. Now, he did it tonight. But he's done it his whole minor league career, so he took it here in his first game.
Well, that's why he rocketed through the system as quickly as he did. He mastered every level. And that allowed him to get to the big leagues at age 21. I mean, consider this. A.J. Ewing tonight became the youngest Met outfielder to start a game since 2009 when Fernando Martinez came. Now, Fernando Martinez was a very highly touted prospect who never made it. But A.J. Ewing, watching the speed and watching the plate discipline, watching the short swing, you feel as though he might have a chance.
Yeah.
2-2 to Torkelson with Hao-Yu Lee on deck. Fly ball out to right, chasing Bench back. He gets there. 1 out. By the way, Tyrone Taylor's come in to play left field, gets Soto off his feet for the last inning. This is some outfield they've got out there in terms of speed with Taylor, Ewing, and Bench. Hao-Yu Lee came up as a pinch hitter in the 7th, had a base hit to right against Brooks Raley. Worked himself out of that jam. Stayed in to play second base. Just another on the list of first. Ewing, the first Met ever to walk 3 times in his big league debut. Lee takes this one the other way, and he's got his second hit. So Hao-Yu Lee, Hao-Yu B. 2 for 2. And now former Met Zach Short is going to bat for Kevin McGonigal. McGonigal was on base 3 times tonight with a single, double, and a walk. Zach Short had a brief tenure for the Mets a couple of years ago. Played 10 games. He has bounced around often since then.
He went to Atlanta after that, right?
Right. I think he's had a couple, but didn't he go to Baltimore for a while?
Yep.
No, he went to Boston. Yeah, and Houston. So this is now his 5th different major league team. Started out his career with the Tigers. And Short takes fastball for a strike, 0-1. All told, Zach has been in 245 big league games, lifetime batting average of 170. Austin Warren trying to get the final 6 outs. He's gotten 4 of them. Brooks Raley was utilized in the 7th, but the Mets broke it open with 2 in the 7th. They tacked on 2 in the 8th, and Warren being asked to finish, which would save Weaver and Williams and Brazoban for tomorrow. Mets will have Christian Scott going tomorrow night. Framber Valdez will come back from his suspension to pitch for the Tigers tomorrow. And then Nolan McLean against Kiter Montero on Thursday afternoon. Broken back grounder foul. Short will have to get a new stick. Christian Scott's last couple of outings have been very, very encouraging.
Yes. Had that kind of throwaway one in his first start, but looked like himself.
I mean, his fastball velocity is up. His command of his secondary pitches looks very good.
I like the shape of his pitches better than his first time around.
Yeah, his slider's kind of evolved into a cutter.
Yeah.
It's a much more effective pitch against lefties. Short back with a new weapon. Down in the count 1-2. And Warren gets him with a high fastball. 2-man down. Second strikeout for Austin Warren. And the Tigers are down to their final out of the night.
So Austin MVP Warren doing it again. I didn't realize until tonight that he has a little crossfire. It makes it a little more difficult against the right-handers with that fastball and breaking ball.
So 2 out. Now Matt Vierling, who's 0 for 4 tonight, takes a sweeper off the plate for ball 1. Freddie Peralta stands to win this game. He went the first 6, allowed 2 runs, 7 hits, fanned 7. Brooks Raley allowed a couple of hits, but worked out of trouble in the 7th. And Warren trying to finish it up. 2-0 to Vierling. Jahmai Jones would be next. And now 3-0. And a strike. Tigers 2 runs and 10 hits. The Mets 10 runs and 13 hits. Austin Warren with one more out to get. And Veerling takes a strike, and the Tigers are down to their final strike. Three-two coming to Veerling. And he fouls off the sweeper to stay in the at-bat.
Mets needed a laugher, Gary. They really did. One where they could smile.
Coaching staff's almost smiling.
Yeah, relax.
Again, the 3-2. And he's just got a piece of it to stay in the at-bat. Veerling will make Warren throw at least one more pitch. Three-two from Warren. And it's up and away, ball 4. And the night continues. Second walk given up by Warren.
Well, pitch count is getting up a little bit, so you might have to get somebody up just in case. Send the pitching coach out. Willard.
Catch a little breather here. He's thrown 21 pitches in this inning.
You know, I was talking about having a laugher for you folks at home. It's when you're grinding every day, and the Mets have been struggling, obviously. But even if you're not struggling, the grind every day gets to you, and to just have a game where it feels secure and it just, I don't know, it's a pleasant feeling. It really is. A lot more joking on the bench.
Yeah, it was feeling that way that game in Colorado until it wasn't.
Until it wasn't, right? Well, you can never feel that way in Colorado.
Right. Jemai Jones up for the second time. Struck out in the 7th against Raley. 2 out and 2 on. And Jones takes a sweeper for a strike, 0-1. Highest pitch count of the year for Warren. His previous high had been 24. This will be his 39th pitch. And Jones swings at the high fastball, and once again the Tigers are down to their last strike. Oh, 2 to Jemai Jones. It's off the plate. 1-2. Jones keeps it going. Riley Green would be next. Craig Kimbrell is up in the Mets bullpen in case Warren needs assistance. One-two coming.
Got him looking, and the ball game is over. A spectacular debut for A.J. Ewing. On base 4 times, a triple, 2 runs scored, 2 RBIs. Could not ask for anything more in a first big league game for a 21-year-old outfielder, giving the Mets the spark they need for a 10-2 win over the Tigers.
I mean, he's trying to be humble about it, but how can you be humble after a game like that? The Mets needed a win like that. They needed a laugher. They needed 10 runs, all of it. And boy, what a debut for that young man. 21 years old, Gary.
Tonight's win is brought to you by Moo. Download the app for access to exclusive Mets perks and smarter trading. Moo Financial Inc. member FINRA SIPC. Game summary presented by Spectrum. Wasn't just Ewing tonight, but he was front and center. Carson Benj batting leadoff, and a couple of hits drove in a run. The future appears to be now for these young players, and Freddie Peralta gets the win as the Mets take the opening game of this homestand 10-2 over the Tigers. Let's go downstairs to Steve Gelb. Steve?